morning everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Crystal and I hope you have a great day everybody. If you like my videos, please smash that like button, please do subscribe. Alexa, good morning.
Asked me to sing a song about cats.
I have to repeat that. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and a happy birthday to former Formula One world champion Nigel Mansell. He made history in 1993 when, having won the Formula One title the year before, he then became the American IndyCar World Series champion too, the only person to hold both titles at the same time.
Alexa, what's the time please?
Good morning, Crystal. The time is 8:12 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Thursday, the 8th of August.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Currently, in Rochester it's 16 degrees Celsius with clear skies and sun. Today, you can expect lots of clouds, with a high of 22 degrees and a low of 16 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke? Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
Why shouldn't you ride a horse after dark? It'd be a nightmare.
Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include Swiss tennis player Roger Federer, Canadian tennis player Felix Auger-Aliassime, television director, theatre director, actor Matt Shakman, Canadian singer-songwriter and model Shawn Mendes, and American actor Dustin Hoffman.
Alexa, how old is Dustin Hoffman?
Dustin Hoffman is 87 years old.
And Alexa, what did Dustin Hoffman star in?
Here are a few movies playing near you today. Harold and the Purple Crayon, Twisters, Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. If you'd like to hear more, ask me to tell you more.
Alexa, what film did Dustin Hoffman star in?
I know about 87 movies which star Dustin Hoffman, including Rain Man, The Graduate, Hook, Perfume, The Story of a Murderer, and 83 more.
So it's Dustin Hoffman's birthday today and he's old. Right, so it is Thursday morning. We should get the bin men down the road at some point, the dustbin men. And anyone that's been following my videos will remember that I had a message off of a dating site telling me someone was a bin man. So the whole intention of these people that are trying to destroy my life is to fuck with my head and upset me. So I just now try not to take any notice and get on with my life anyway. So it looks like it's going to be another hot day today. We had some rain yesterday, and I thought last night it was going to be cooler, but in fact inside this flat it was unbearable heat, absolutely unbearable. I couldn't go to sleep properly last night. I was getting up and down trying to get some fresh air. Inside this building, because I told you in the bathroom there's no windows, so when you live in a house, right, normally the bathroom's got some windows. I live in a block of 15 flats, right, and it gets exceptionally hot inside the building as well, even with the windows open. So, you know, sometimes I do feel like I'm suffocating. At night, last night was terrible. I had two fans on, and I still couldn't feel any cool air. I think it's the way they're built. It's just like, you know, boxes on top of boxes and the heat. So last night I took Max out for a walk, and there was a smell of a bonfire, like someone had been burning something. And I've told you how I'm affected by loud noises and strong smells. So there was a really, really strong smell of a bonfire all over the field and around where I live, like someone had been burning something. And I struggled to like breathe, and it got dark as well, so people's car headlights was on. Last night when I went out about 7, it was dark in the sky, it started to rain, there was this stench of smoke. I walked around the field, and there was a man in a blue waistcoat near the Mercedes-Benz building, and he was throwing things, not really, it was just like lifting things up and then throwing them down. So I didn't go anywhere near him. I walked across the field, and then around there was the grey-haired man with the black dog called Rena, which is something to do with Fred and Rosemary West. Rena is. And as I was trying to get off the field, I saw 2 lads, and one put a hood over his head and then he lifted it off again. One was on a bicycle, and then, I do not care what I look like, I really don't. I'm an older woman and I've been married and I've had boyfriends, and it really doesn't matter. So there's this woman, right, and she's got a similar dog to mine. And it also freaks me out because I was looking at someone's TikTok. Before I went out last night, I've obviously got a TikTok account, and this is where a lot of harassment comes from, because other people complain that they're being harassed and bullied on TikTok. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I went into this, when you scroll through TikTok, don't you? Everyone knows about scrolling. So you look, videos come up, you scroll, and then you look at somebody else's, then you look at somebody else's, then you look at somebody else's. Came across this girl's TikTok, and she seemed to be going through what I was going through. She was scared to go outside because she was getting harassed and bullied. A lot younger than me, about 30 years younger. This is why I can't understand why I'm being harassed and bullied when I'm middle-aged. I don't get it, right? This girl was a lot younger than me. She seemed to be like in her early 20s. And she was afraid to go outside. She was saying it was affecting her mental health, how people were harassing her and bullying her, and that she had to leave. She had to leave the area she was living in because of harassment. Similar situation to me. And also someone else has gone through it. They've put videos on TikTok and they've got harassed outside. And they've had to move. So there's a connection, obviously, between TikTok and harassers on TikTok, making it people's lives a misery, and they have to move from where they live. So it's not just me. It's not just me. But unfortunately, something happened to her cat, and she was crying on TikTok saying, you shouldn't have done this to my cat. She'd come home to find her cat dead. Just dead. She said it was warm. So what the hell is going on? Harassers and bullies got something to do with the death of this girl's cat. she had a dog like mine, but it was more hairy. So it was like a Chihuahua crossed with another dog. So it happens to other people, but I was watching that before I left my flat last night. Goes onto the field, and as I'm coming off, there's a young girl with a similar dog to the one I was watching on TikTok. Very similar. And she was in her 20s, this woman, and that she had a dog like the one I was watching on TikTok coming towards me, and you've got two lads on a bench, one's hooded and one's on a bicycle. And it's beginning to rain. So I just wanted to get off the field and go home yesterday evening. I got home and I feel that next door has got something to do with the harassment that I'm getting. Next door, I told you, sometimes I go on the balcony in the morning and the dog's on the balcony and I just don't feel I can water my plants or do anything. And when I'm coming home now from the walk at night, I've told you, it's every time he comes home or he's in upstairs, I get bullied worse, and I can't understand why. I don't know why. So when he gets in, the bullying and harassment gets worse. So I was coming back home into my flat, right? And the dog barking next door from that dachshund was terrible. And what happens is, when they just make everybody stare at you. And it's so embarrassing, right? Because that dog will bark its fucking head off and people will come and look to see what's going on, and it's barking at me. So it makes me shake. I couldn't get the key into the door. And they're a couple and they're married and they've lived here 4 years. They're a couple, they're together, right? And he's asked me questions. And when I first moved into this property, they had a black dog. It was stood on the balcony. When I came to take on this property, they had a black dog next door, a little black dog. And then they got rid of it because they said they, probably for obvious reasons, like they went to work, they couldn't look after the dog. He told me they couldn't look after it. So if they couldn't look after that dog, now they've got a dog that's a lot bigger and a lot harder to look after. Sometimes it's indoors barking all day. It's on the balcony barking at people and squealing. It's tried to jump into the lift with me. It's jumped on my leg. So I don't understand why they've got another dog, that's all. If they didn't have time for the first one. Well, it's getting ridiculous. I'm not saying he was telling the dog to go for me. But one day I was in the corridor and the dog was coming out and it was making a growling noise, and the owner went, "Go on then. Go on then." I'm a woman. I keep myself to myself. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Don't even speak to him. In fact, one of the last times I spoke to the guy next door, he said, "Is that your son? Is that your son?" Not that that's got anything to do with him anyway. So, I'm just carrying on. I'm not going up to see my mum today because I've got to get the locks changed on the front door of my flat before I feel safe to leave this place for a large amount of time. Got to get the front front door locks replaced. Because even if they have got a spare fob key, they won't be able to get into my flat, will they? And my birth certificate is missing, which has been missing for a while, which somebody can use as evidence. They can use a birth certificate as evidence to get things. They only need to get hold of a relative or someone that is the same age as me and looks it, because it's not photo ID, is it? My photo isn't on my birth certificate. I mean, fraudsters, con artists can buy somebody's birth, death certificate, whatever, online. I don't need to even steal it. Right guys, lovely sunny day. I'm afraid I'm still at home. I will not be visiting my mother for 4 or 5 hours, and I'm not being paranoid. I think someone's been coming into my flat, and I'm not, I've got to change the door locks. See you later.